you can use your content to become an entrepreneur, because ultimately what you're doing is you're doing what you love and you're making money out of it. So if I'm able to do that with, let's say, 1,000 people, I think that's the next drive which I'm aiming for. When I was in ninth, I wanted to become a rapper. Then I wanted to become a DJ. Then I wanted to become a financial trader. Then I wanted to become a salesperson. It looks overwhelming, but you feel like maybe Gary did it on 10 platforms. I can do it on one. I think from June pandemic with 2020, right, till now, there haven't been one single day where I've not posted. And that's the line. Like that's everybody's thinking about how do I come up with the most viral content instead of thinking of how do I become a worthy person. No matter what then this worthy person says becomes a viral content.
Hey guys, it's your welcome to this exclusive Master Secrets interview, and I have here with me somebody who I've known for a few years right now. He's one of India's top 5 young influencers, over 1 million followers on Instagram. He's killing it on YouTube, and he's figuring out podcasts, his top 10 podcasts in India. And what I like about him is he's truly driving forward the creator economy in our country and showing the way. Not just like being an entertainer, but really adding value. And I've been seeing him, the way that he's grown over the last maybe 3 to 5 years has been amazing. He's given over 200 plus speeches in 26 plus countries, and what a journey. So honor and privilege to have you on this show, Raj. And it's finally, you're going to be on the other side, not interviewing. I'm going to interview you.
Yeah. Yes. No, I'm honored to be here. Genuinely, like I was, since a very long time, I was looking for an opportunity to actually go out and be on the other side. And I don't think like I say yes very quickly, but like because it was you, so I thought like, oh, this is it. Like this is, it cannot get better. So yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you. What drives you, man? What drives you to create like content after content, interviewing people after people? In fact, you just finished an interview like in the morning, and now you're coming and doing this. What drives you?
But I'll give you 2 answers, okay? So that first is what really drove me in the beginning. What it was just like, honestly, it was like money and fame. Okay, in the beginning, I was always this kid who was overlooked, never got an attention from friends around or from teachers or from parents, and I was like always like this ignored kid, right? Like because I was not good at studies, not good at anything specifically. So I was like, hey, you know what? I want to get rich, and if I get rich, I'll probably get fame as well, power as well, and everybody will pay attention to me. So it started like that, and once I got like little of it, it actually became the point of game of freedom. Right? I started enjoying. So it was not about the money I was getting or the things which I was doing. It was about what that money gave me power to do.
Yes.
Like, and what I essentially mean is, let's say, travel anywhere or work on any project you want to, or like, associate with the right people. Like just like the little things in life which you have power and you don't have to think about. That gave me a lot of boost, and that drove me for a while. And then it was during the pandemic where I realized that, hey, you know what if the thing which I've done for myself, I've created kind of financial freedom for myself at a very early age. And because this freedom has allowed me to take 3 major decisions of my life. Those are where to live, with whom to live, and what to work on. Like these are the 3 decisions which I feel this should be yours, not anyone else's. But in India, these are the only 3 decisions which your parents take, rest everything you take. Right?
Exactly.
And it doesn't turn out to be right for everyone. I was like, whoever is watching me or whoever is seeing my content or anything at all, they should be able to take this decision themselves. Like their relatives should not take that decision for them.
Exactly.
And that became the drive. Like, now can I actually help a lot of people achieve the same kind of financial freedom through maybe content, by maybe making them become content creators, by making them become creatorpreneurs. That's all I call myself.
Nice.
Like, okay, like how you can use your content to become an entrepreneur. So because ultimately what you're doing is you're doing what you love and you're making money out of it. So if I'm able to do that with, let's say, 1,000 people, I think that's the next drive which I'm aiming for. So that drives me every
Fantastic.
day. Like whatever I've done for
Fantastic.
myself, I want to do it for 1,000 more people.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great to know, Raj. And just getting to that childhood moment you were saying, like you had a childhood. I mean, let's describe your. Why don't you describe your childhood? Like, was that like the force? Like maybe you were not taken so seriously, so that has now that influenced you now later on to like become an influencer. Do you think there's a correlation there in patterns? Tell us about that. That
Yeah,
part of the
but
journey.
for sure, I think
Mm,
it's a great question, honestly, because I think one of the biggest innate needs which I developed in my personality was that hey, nobody's taking me seriously.
mm, mm,
Okay, and nobody took me seriously because I was always this kid who would not do one thing intensely. So
okay.
one day I would be like, I want to play basketball. I'll play for a month, and then
Mm,
next month I'm playing football,
mm,
and then the next month I'm like, I want to be a cricketer, and the
mm,
next month I'm like, oh, I want to be a financial trader. Like in eighth standard, ninth standard, I told myself that I want to be a financial trader. I mean,
okay.
90% of the kids in my class didn't even know who financial trader was, right?
Mm,
So it was always that I was moving from one thing to another because I was inspired by a lot of things. I was always like very curious person.
mm,
I felt whichever personality is, let's say there'll be some uncle who inspires me a lot in the family, I would want to become like him. Let's say
mm,
Virat Kohli is hitting sixes, I was like, I want to become like him. So it was always like me driven out of little role models around us in the society. And because of that, I was never focusing on one thing.
got it.
And
Mm,
because I was not focusing on one thing, I technically sucked at everything, right? Like I was not good at anything at all because I never practiced one thing for
yes.
good. And because I didn't practice, nobody took me seriously because everybody's like, यार एक महीना भी basketball खेलेगा, and then he's like, okay fine, like he'll
Mm,
do this and then do this and do this, right? So I told you, like, I when I was in ninth, I wanted to become a rapper, then I wanted to become a DJ, then I wanted to
mm,
become a financial trader, then I wanted to become a salesperson. So it eventually, and these are the careers I'm talking about where I actually went for classes for six months.
okay. Mm,
So like I learned how to play guitar for 6 months and still I can't play. so, so
mm,
that so that pattern where I was not able to maybe focus on one thing, and later on I realized that in my 12th or in my 11th, where most, like, that is the time when you actually want your parents to take you seriously, or your teachers to take you seriously, like, hey, I want to do CA, or I want to do CS, or I want to do MBA, whatever the little dreams which people have, or become an engineer. You want the five people around you to take you seriously. You
yes.
want somebody to give you that kind of validation. Huh, you got this, you can do it, I'll help you, what do you need? Or
Mm,
someone to guide you. Hey, maybe this is right for you, this is wrong for you. This is what happens
mm,
in most of the family.
mm,
Nothing happened with me
got
because
it.
everybody thought that no matter what they'll make me choose, or what no matter what I'll choose, I'll probably drop it in a month.
Mm,
So that was like some point that, hey, I need to find out what I'm good at, and then I'm gonna go so intense on that I'll become top 1% in that people don't have any choice but to take me seriously. And that
mm.
eventually became storytelling for me.
Fantastic, Raj. But I was reading this book called Range by this guy
Okay.
called David Epstein.
Yeah.
It's about how generalists actually triumph in a specialized world. Because you had that range of so many things. I mean, later on, even when I look at my background, is also same thing. I'm a musician, college dropout. I did like a lot of different things where people are not taking seriously, and then the dots connected. I'm sure you had that moment. So for you, what do you think was the tipping point for you, like where from people not taking you seriously, now suddenly like, okay, now it's Raj Shamani is doing something awesome. Like, what age were you, and what was the tipping point?
I don't think there was honestly there was a one tipping point. I
Okay.
don't believe that there are one tipping point which changes your life.
Mm,
I don't believe in the concept. I feel there are series of decisions, there are series of incidents which
right.
actually fill you up with certain confidence and fill other people around you with confidence as well. So there
Okay.
have been certain moments. One of the
Mm,
key moments was that I got a chance to speak at UN.
okay. Mm,
And so I got out of school. I don't know how, but I graduated, like I got my high school diploma like I crossed 12th when I was 16. Okay,
mm,
so it was pretty early. Like when other people are getting it 17 or 18, I got like 2 years early.
okay.
So at the age of 17, I got a chance to go and speak at UN.
Okay.
And UN was so UN has this program where you become a youth representative for a
Mm,
specific place,
mm.
and there's a UNIDO, United Nations for Industrial Development Organization,
Okay.
which the headquarters in Vienna.
Okay.
So you go to that headquarters and you give a speech on behalf of your country. So only one
Mm,
person from the entire country is selected for that 1 year.
mm.
So and I became that person, and
Nice.
that for me was like, oh, like Raj, like this is serious. Like you're representing a country,
Mm,
and a lot of people around me started taking little seriously. I think that was the first moment when
mm.
things started happening.
Okay. Okay. And how did you take it after that? Like you went through that process. Like when did the social media activation start? At what age?
I came back from UN and I started searching about these people, like who are the top speakers, who are the top storytellers, who are the top entrepreneurs, and I found out about Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, and Gary Vee, and I studied them throughout.
Okay. Mm,
And of
mm.
course, so when you study, I'm a big believer of, by the way, role models. Okay,
Yes.
I
Mm,
feel you are inspired to do things in your life only because of certain role models.
mm.
Like no one wants to get out of their bed and do bigger things if they don't have role models in front of them, because there's
Yes.
no hope. Right? There's no hope.
Mm,
The role models in front of you give you hope that hey, this guy did it. I want to do it too.
mm,
So these three, like Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, and Richard Branson,
mm,
eventually I found them as role models.
mm.
Richard Branson filled my adventure need. Tony Robbins filled my going depth and becoming expertise and doing things at grand level. And
Yeah.
Gary built my need for building brand on social media.
Mm,
So I studied these guys a lot, and I realized that what Gary did, like that's the beauty about Gary Vee.
mm,
That whatever he does, it doesn't feel like that you can't do it.
mm,
It looks overwhelming, but you feel like maybe Gary did it on 10 platforms. I can do it on one. Like
mm.
it's not difficult to do it. You just so there's so because Gary did this, I'm like, okay. So I did the UN thing. I am gonna go apply in more colleges and give speeches because Gary was giving speeches at that time.
Mm.
I was like, all I'm gonna do is the way Gary's recording, I'm gonna record myself.
Nice. Mm,
And I hired this guy on internship for 5,000 rupees.
mm.
I told him that come travel with me wherever we go, and that traveling during that time was my city. Inside my
Okay.
city, we would go to Toastmasters, we would go to colleges, we would go to schools just for free, random talk about it. And my first initial was, I want to build brand on social media, so I don't care about audience. I care about what next content will work on my social media. So I was giving
Yes.
speeches on that, and we were recording that. We started putting on social media. So that's how it started.
Mm. Which year was this? When
This
you did?
is,
Mm.
I think 2015 or 16, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The UN thing happened in 2015, 16.
Yeah.
And
2015 UN happened. And I
okay.
started posting pictures in 15. I think 16, so I started posting videos once in a while.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it.
And I would make like random videos on front camera.
Mm.
I would do a couple of things, right? Like there was
Mm.
this, in fact, one of the mistakes I made, which a lot of people make.
Mm.
For first 2 years, I only put out the content which I felt was Gary level.
Okay. Mm.
And this is what most of the people make mistake, right? They look at somebody who is 10 levels away from them,
Mm.
and they want to start their journey from directly from that level,
Mm.
which is absolutely like the worst way to start. Like
Mm.
y- I I mean, I know for a fact, and you know for a fact, like on day one, I'm not even 1% of what Gary does on stage or what Tony
Mm.
Robbins does on stage. Or like
Mm.
nobody, let's say in your case, like whoever's starting a course
Yeah.
and doing that, right? Nobody is even 1% good as what you have done, because you have gone through that learning curve of doing certain things. So if I want to
Mm.
start my course and be like, I want to be as successful as Siddharth on day one,
Mm.
I won't be able to. And that is
Correct.
why I got in that analysis of, I want to be this person who exactly sounds like him, walks like him, wears like him,
Mm.
talks like,
Mm.
and that wasted 2 years of my life.
Okay. Mm.
So
Mm.
that didn't help me make brand.
Mm.
And then there was this event in Singapore where I was a filler speaker and Gary was the main speaker.
Okay.
So I happened to meet Gary. So so me and Gary, we had a dinner because post that event, there's a networking dinner, networking lunch,
Yes.
networking dinner happened, right? And he was sipping wine. So I was just standing right next to him, and I told him that, hey, can I just stand next to you, because I don't drink. And he's like, okay, but what do you want to do? I was like, I don't have any question. I just want to observe how you talk to people, how you treat people, because
Mm,
everybody wants to talk to you. How do you decide whom to give how much time? That is what I want to
yeah.
analyze. Okay, for
Mm,
me that is insane. Like, how do you operate in a room where everybody wants your time?
yeah.
Because it's most of the time everybody's like, nobody wants to hear you, and that's why you want your message to go out. It's very rare to see someone everybody wants to talk to them, and how do they manage their time. So
Yeah.
Gary was impressed by this, and he's like, hey, guess what, you know what, after this I'm having dinner, come join me.
Nice. Mm,
And on the dinner I told him about that, hey, I'm figuring out my life, I want to uh, just, I'm doing this business, I'm doing that, I'm doing these places, I want to create content, what kind of content should I create? He's like, right now what you're doing and talking to me should be your content.
mm.
Like, telling your people that you're actually figuring out how this content thing works,
Yeah.
instead
Mm,
of giving everybody gyan that you're an expert in digital marketing or you're an expert of content creation.
mm.
I mean, I said, I love content creation. I feel there's great scope. He's like, you feel great scope because you've read and heard a lot about it,
Correct.
but you don't
Mm,
know it because you have
mm.
not done it.
Yes.
So
Mm,
show people that you're following this journey. And
mm,
that's where the figuring out name started. He's like, I'm on a journey of figuring out. And my first figuring out video was right after that event. I went back to my house. I was in my, I was on my terrace, in my house's terrace, and my first video went like, hey, you know what? I'm figuring out how to create content. I don't know whether I'll be successful, I'll be consistent or no. It's
mm.
just that I want to start doing it from today. Let's,
Fantastic.
so you tell me, what are the things which I should do in order to stay consistent? What are the
Mm,
things I should do which will serve value? So I started asking people questions, and they gave me suggestions, and I started doing that.
mm.
That became my
Wow.
content premise.
This was 2016, 2017, around that time, is it,
Yeah,
Gary?
yeah.
Mm,
That's this is no. This was I wasted 2 years. That 2017 was 2018. I guess it was Gary V
mm.
Singapore. 2018. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it's a 4 year. I mean, so from that moment on, things shifted. I mean, you might have got more focused and more
Yeah.
consistent in the whole. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then pandemic, of course. Pandemic se to I realized that, okay, so, I believe I'm a big believer in a concept of moat. Have
Mm.
you heard of it?
Nope. Tell me about it.
Okay. So moat is, have you seen those big castles, like old castles of
Yes.
kingdom, right? The river
Yeah.
around that is a moat,
Yes.
right?
That's a moat. Yes.
That's a moat. So every big startup or every big business has a moat. Somebody
Okay.
has a leverage of capital, somebody has an IP, somebody's team, somebody's tech, somebody is like some other thing, right?
Okay.
Let's say so I feel every content creator also has a moat.
Okay.
For example, let's say for you, the moat will be the way you've designed systems and you use tools.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
like you've tested thousands of tools that it's, for a newbie like me, it'll take me like a year to get to 11. Okay, so that's
Mm.
your moat. So nobody
Mm.
can beat you in that.
Mm.
So let's say for a CA, Rachna Ranade, who creates content on social media, her moat is that she's a CA. Beat
Mm.
her in knowledge of finance. Come on, like you
Mm-hmm.
can't. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
everybody has a moat. So I felt, what is gonna be my moat? If I want to make this thing big, I want to make sure that if everyone is coming and becoming a content creator, how do I stand out? How do I build my moat so strong that nobody can beat me? And
Exactly.
during
Mm.
pandemic, I was like, Raj, what's there in you? I felt that the only thing I was not able to figure out, like, I'm not the best speaker in the world. I'm not the most talented person in the world. I'm not an expert. I've not lived my life like to another level. I'm not even like an experience. I mean, let's say, even if I'm made, for example, my company's size have scaled more than like XYZ people who are creating content on social media, or I'm making more money and everything. It's still, I would still call it like a luck by chance kind of thing, because I'm still very young. It's not a
Mm.
pattern that I've done it like 10 times and I've been able to make that possible, right?
Yes.
So I can't call myself an expert in building companies as well. So what is my moat? I thought
Mm.
my moat is that I keep figuring out. So
Mm.
consistency is my moat.
Yeah.
And then
Mm.
during pandemic, this is what I did. I was like, there are 365 days. How many people are creating 365 videos?
Mm.
Forget, like if there are 365 there, and I saw people creating everyday videos, I'm like, how many people are creating 700 videos in a year?
Mm.
How many people are creating 3 videos a day? And I went bang on. I was like, consistency is my mode. I'm gonna outwork everybody.
Mm.
That became my mode initially. I was
Okay.
like, until I have the team, until I build until I come up with a pattern what works on social media, until I come up with some kind of skill or expertise in content,
Yeah.
till then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna outwork everybody. So I
Mm.
created like 3 videos a day. I created like 700-800 videos in I think 6 months, and
Wow.
then like after 6 months I started creating 1 video a day. And since that, like, since the day pandemic was announced, I think 21st March.
Yeah.
Uh, After that, it took me well June. So June se I started. So June, I think from June pandemic for 2020, right till now,
Mm.
there haven't been one single day where I've not posted.
Wow.
Not even one single. And okay, fun fact: for first 6 months, I was only posting on Instagram.
Mm.
Okay, then it was Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube,
Mm.
podcast. There haven't been a single week or a single day since last 18-20 months where I have not posted on each of these platforms and a different content, not same. So
Okay.
I feel like
Mm.
consistency was my mode. So that like accelerated things for me.
Fantastic. Yeah. I remember during pandemic, I used to see your videos, like the three things you have, like three secrets, three the news. I remember following that, and what I loved about it is it's like
Yeah.
it was very newsworthy. It was super valuable, but in just a few seconds. I think you capitalized on that. During that pandemic time. How many the three things you
Yeah.
did? You remember that?
See,
Yeah.
a lot, a lot. I'll tell you another fun fact. Okay. So for so I bought 3things to know.com, 3things.com, 3thingsdaily.com, all of
Yeah.
these things as well. And like I started selling few of them. I made a couple of bucks there also. So my
Okay.
whole idea was like, now that I'm doing 3 things, let me buy all the domains and start making money off them as well.
Mm.
So how many of them did I like? I think I did like 300-400 of that as well. Like a
Mm.
lot of them, like a lot of them. I deleted a lot of them as well because after I like gained like some level of traction and attention, I felt like certain reels were not appropriate to say or be out. So
Okay.
I like let me just take it out because out of excitement you forget sometimes that maybe this was not the right move or the wrong move. Maybe it can
Mm.
hurt some people. So
Correct.
I took it out as well. But yeah, I think 300-400 I did. Okay. So for example, I was obsessed with business news. I'm obsessed with how Ambanis have built business or Adanis have built business
Yeah.
or let's say Ritesh Agrawal of Oyo and Cred and like new age startups are building, right?
Mm.
What two 19-year-old kids are doing right to build $1 billion Zepto,
Mm.
right? So I've been obsessed about these things because I told you about role models, right? And these are the role models that have done something exceptionally well. So because I was obsessed with this, I felt this is where I want to work. And
Mm.
then the biggest problem I was thinking that most of the people who are not obsessed with business world don't have time to keep up with what's going on in business world.
True.
So
Mm.
why not I give them the shock, like the snackable content because they want to know what's going on, but probably they are not as obsessed as me, so they don't want to go through 25 articles and read everything about what's up in the business world.
Yes.
So
Mm.
that's where I was trying this problem to solve this problem. Like with the same, like probably I'm not as obsessed as you in creating freedom and
Mm.
building coaches,
Mm.
but I want to know how you build coaches because a great skill or great understanding to have. So if you give me like a 2 thing 3 things I would probably watch.
Mm.
So I felt that was needed and that's like most people would be interested in. So I started doing it and it was a personal problem that 25 pages nobody wants to learn. Let
Mm.
me solve that problem for lot of people.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that was amazing. I think a lot of people are on social media. I think the usage of the internet was booming, during that time. And we also had a small catch up. You gave me some tips on reels and what hashtags to use and all that stuff. I remember that moment. Now let's come to shift gears into routine. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're rolling out so many pieces of
Hmm.
content. What's your typical day like? Are you always thinking about what next to record, or do you have any? Do you do it like in one batch and then get the teams to do it? Like, what's your routine like?
Oh, I think you won't like this answer. I don't create content at all. Like I don't think about creating content. I don't think about ideas. I don't come up with anything. Here's the process looks like. My team is, I don't know how I found them. It just happened very nicely. Like I don't have an answer to how to find them. But they're so good that they ask me right questions. Okay. The way you're asking me questions, they ask me questions. They ask me 10 questions. They'll take 1 hour in a week. 1 hour we'll sit. My content strategist, my videographer, they'll come, they'll ask me question and I answer them. And that 1 hour session, they'll then sit, chop it off, and turn it into 30 reels. So the process is that it's just they ask me questions and I answer them. Now here's why it works. Okay, I'll tell you. This is like a basic answer. Everybody say, oh, how do we come up with content? How do we do it? Okay, so I'll tell you how. I don't feel anyone should be thinking about creating content.
Okay.
Until unless your business is production house or creating content.
Okay.
So if what's the outcome? Okay. So let's say I work with two ways. One is I am filling people with inspiration and giving them execution mindset to become a creatorpreneur. That is the outcome which I want.
Yes.
Right. And the second is I am inherently a lazy person, but with big dreams. So I want to remind myself every day that I'd get up and do work. Right. We all know this, and we all are, as humans, we're lazy. So these are the outcomes which I want. So decide your outcome. And then if you have if you don't have an expertise, you learn about these things. And when you're learning, you just tell your team or like if you don't have a team, you prepare a questionnaire for yourself. Like, why do you want people to become creatorpreneurs? Why do you want to remind yourself to get out of bed? Why do you think I'm lazy? Why do you think it works for few people and doesn't work for few people? Right? It's just these questions. You train your team to ask you like the basic first principle level questions.
Yes.
You don't tell them that, hey, come up with a real idea. No. Come up with a question which you want to know, which can take us closer to the goal which we have. So if my goal is that I want to create more creatorpreneurs, then how will it help other people who want to become creatorpreneurs? Let's ask those questions. So once you decide your outcome and then you start writing those questions, you can just start answering them. You never have to think about question. Now you'll be like, how do we come up with that content which maps it up? The problem is you never have to come up with content. You have to be honest. So if you don't have an answer, you say out on a video that, hey guys, you know what? I don't have an answer for this, but guess what? I've heard Siddharth doing this thing. So maybe this works. So let me go do it. In 1 month from now, I'll tell you whether Siddharth's model work or no. Be honest. Everybody, your audience will wait for you for a month. Ki yaar, shit, did Gary thing work or no? Did Siddharth thing work or no? Did, let's say, Raji's thing work or no? It's like everybody will wait for it.
Yeah.
So the concept is pretty simple. The concept is you never have to force yourself to come up with content. You just have to make sure that you're becoming this person who's worthy of giving content. And that's the line. Like that's everybody's thinking about how do I come up with the most viral content instead of thinking of how do I become a worthy person. No matter what then this worthy person says becomes a viral content. And that's where the line draws. Like I tell you, like I always give this example to a lot of people that let's say I come up with the best business idea in the world. Okay. How to run, I give you like how to build a business, the best content. And I research for one year, read 60 books, go through 100 of conferences and come up with one idea and build a 7-minute video. Okay. And I give it, do you think that will be viral versus a 7-minute video of Elon Musk telling how to build a business?
Yeah.
Right. Like let's say, I'll give you a classic example. Steve Jobs doing this. Steve Jobs gave a speech in Stanford about stay hungry and stay foolish. That's the most powerful line, but the most cliche line you'll hear. But it works because it's coming out of mouth of Steve Jobs.
It lands when he says it. Yeah.
So you need to not think about, can I read 60 books and do hundreds of courses to come up with the content? You need to be like, can I become this person who's worthy enough to say anything? Because then once you're worthy, no matter what you say, people listen.
Yeah. Totally with you on that. Like, yeah, you may read hundreds of books on swimming, but unless you jump in the pool, you won't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So,
that's the problem in the industry, I
so
guess.
with the content is just like that, and problem is then everybody starts comparing themselves with Steve Jobs from day one. Be
Mm,
like,
mm,
hey, I don't sound like Steve Jobs. Yeah, because you're not.
mm,
So you need to be like, hey, you know what? I'm on a journey to become Steve Jobs. It
mm,
might sound stupid, but this is what he did in early days. I'm doing the same thing. You want to follow me for you want to follow me for more updates or how Steve Jobs started his journey? I'm going to do the same way, and let's
mm.
find out whether his approach works in today's world or no.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure there'll be 10,000 people who'll follow you just to see whether the Steve Jobs approach works or no.
Mm, mm. Fantastic, Raj. Very, very powerful insights you've shared. One is what I was able to take out is, yeah, outcome based. You focus on the outcome first. Question it. Why? In fact, even I do this in my community. Before they even create a course, they need to have a document of at least 100 questions that their target market is asking. They go to Quora, they have to go and do research. And only then they can create something which is what the market is looking for, not based on what they feel is important for
Exactly.
them. So it's a different approach. And other thing that we said is we should never ever think about creating content. We should just think about solving problems or the solution based stuff.
Yep. I
Amazing.
think more than like you should never
Mm.
think about creating content. You should think about becoming that person who can
Becoming the
create
person. Yeah.
content.
Mm, mm.
Become a person of value rather than giving value.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. Nailed it. Yeah. So the creator economy now. Let's talk about that based on your, the way that you're seeing things going. Like you're killing it right now. The one of the top 10 in our country right now, and just in the last 3 to 4 years, you've gained your influence and not just being an entertainer, but there are many YouTube channels that do just entertainment stuff, not random stuff. There's there's a lot of intellectual stuff that's happening, and attention span, retention, like you've check marked and all those things. Where do you see things going, the creator economy, based on your research and
It's
being in the game? Yeah.
I'll give you three good insights.
Mm,
Okay. One, it's just getting started. Okay,
mm,
it's gonna blow up. It's gonna we creators will eat TV.
mm,
They already have done like good job, but they'll eat up. Okay.
mm.
It's like the way print media ate radio, the way TV ate print media, social
Mm,
media is gonna eat TV.
mm,
It's as simple as that. It's happening. It's gonna happen. Given that, it's gonna only get tougher for you to sustain and become a career on it, build a
mm.
career. Okay.
Okay.
And the reason is because when you give more options to people, your chances of standing out reduces. For
Mm.
example, earlier there used to be one show on Doordarshan which nobody, like people didn't have an option, they had to watch it.
Yeah.
Like if they want to watch TV, they have to watch Doordarshan, and that's the most watched serial, the most watched television channel
Mm,
in the world,
mm,
in India, right? But then there comes Star Plus, there comes Sony, there comes
mm,
ZTV, there's come Colors, right? There are now on your set-top box there are 1,000 channels.
mm,
Everybody works, but few works better, few works don't.
mm,
Okay. But why each of them work is they all stand for the true purpose of one thing.
mm.
Like you will see that MTV is only doing for a certain target audience.
Yeah.
Star Plus is only doing for a certain audience. Sony TV is only doing for a certain audience, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is built their niche. Like, are there an inspiration market, education market, entertainment market?
Mm,
What is the so in a creator economy, if you want to win,
mm.
what is the market you're in?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that is one. And the second is on the same inside, for you to sustain for longer, it makes sense if you get in an information and an inspiration market.
Yeah.
Because
Mm,
the entertainment market, as the attention span reduces, it
mm.
moves from the content to trend.
Yes.
Okay. So
Mm,
now, because there are a lot of platforms want more people to watch, and it's easier for platform to make people watch, let's say, a 10-second dance video
mm,
versus a like a 1-minute sketch,
mm,
right? So if there's a new song pumping up, so the production house of that song is putting a lot of money and giving it to platforms to push it,
mm.
giving it influencers to push it. Now 10 people are dancing on it. So if you are trying to capitalize on trend and entertainment, you
Yeah.
will have to be this person who will always creating trends, because then
Mm,
you're only as relevant as trends. now there's a like there's an advantage and disadvantage of this.
Mm.
The advantage is you'll gain followers faster,
Yeah. Mm.
but you'll go down faster,
Mm.
right? Because people followed for the trend, not you.
Mm.
Nobody followed you for personality, right?
True.
So if you are quick enough to follow a trend and then turn your people into your let's say, and make them fall in love with your personality over time, if you have the
Mm.
map for that, great, use trends for your advantage.
Got
Okay.
it. Mm. Mm.
Now the other part, if you go and build your personality, okay, and you're doing
Mm.
personality, so personality, entertainment and personality dena is very difficult until unless you build a character,
Yeah. Mm.
right? Because everybody's doing the same thing. So that's why I feel like whoever wants to get into this creator economy, the easier way to start with is information.
Mm.
Because everybody wants to actually become, so this is the third insight which I was giving.
Yes.
As human beings, all we want is elevate our status.
Yeah.
Right? Like no matter what we do. So 90% of the things which you and I or everybody would do is because of signaling.
Mm.
Okay, so we want to signal certain things, we want to communicate certain things. We don't want money, right? We want money to signal that, hey, I'm doing good in life. We want to signal that, hey, I wear cool sneakers because you want to stand out in the crowd. You just want to signal your personality, you want to signal your money, you want to signal your thoughts, you want to signal your intentions, you want to signal your ego, whatever is there. Like no matter what you do, even if you're doing things for charity, you want to signal that, hey, I am a good person, I'm doing good for society. Right? So ultimately, you're here to signal.
Yes.
Now, everybody wants to signal and they want to amplify their signaling. How do people amplify signal? Like, I just want, let's say, example that I feel I I feel I really know a lot about creator economy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to tell the world that, hey, I know a lot about creator economy, because ultimately this is the signal or the message I want to give it to the world. Hey, think about me as a thought leader in this thing. So what I'm looking for now is amplification. How do I find out the ways to amplify it? By finding out people who have done good jobs in amplifying other people's message. So I'm finding out constantly, I'm finding out information on, let's say, can I do course and amplify this leadership? Then I'll find out people who are teaching how to build course. Can I tell a story and become a better content creator to spread this message? Oh, then I'll find people who are teaching content creation. Can I do speak in a better way and then do this? Then I'll find people who are teaching how to speak, right?
Yeah.
So everybody at the end of the day, whatever they have, they want to signal that louder, and because they want to amplify the signal, there's a need for them to learn more. And because there's a need to learn more, people will find you, and there's a large like big demand for people who can teach well. And that's where the information market comes in. So in a creator economy, if you want to stand out, you get in with the information, because you are technically just fulfilling the innate need of a human being that is amplifying what they want to speak out in the world.
Bro. Yeah.
Right. So you just need to think about this way. How are you helping people signal better?
Yes.
Now you can give me 10 reasons, be like, hey, I do it to change the world. I do it to make money. I do it to create an impact. I do it to just change my childhood image. You can give 10 reasons to yourself. That's fair. Yeah. But ultimately, all you're doing is you're helping people signal better.
Yes.
Right? Like, what are we doing? You're helping people make more money. Why do they need to make more money? Because they want to pay bills in a better way and improve the quality of life. Why do they want to improve the quality of life? Because they want to signal that they're better people.
Exactly.
Right? Because you will become, and you like, don't tell me that you, like, people say that I just want to do it for comfort. You can be comfortable in a small room under a fan. Like, why to go out and work even?
Exactly.
Right? You want to improve the level of comfort because you want to signal better. Maybe it can be it. I'm not saying that you want to show off. I'm not saying that you want to do it to prove your neighborhood wrong. Like, not that. You just want to signal better that I'm doing good in life. So if you fulfill that need, you can become a really good creator. You can become a really good creator. Just now think about how are you helping them amplify that. If you do a good job there, you kill it. Now, the other part of this is there are two types of creators. Okay. One is a topic based creation, and the other is relationship based creation.
Okay.
Okay. So, topic based creator is someone who creates, let's say, how to make money in 21 days, or 5 stocks to buy to do this.
Yeah.
Or, okay, Mukesh Ambani is doing this with his kids. Right? Is giving some. So there's a topic based creation where I'm only as good as the next topic I pick.
Okay.
Okay. So people are coming for the topic, not for me. Okay. So if you need to decide, are you a topic based creator? Because topic based creator, people will come for topics, not for you.
Yes.
And the relationship based creator is like, I'm drinking coffee, come watch me. like, guys, I just exist. I'm breathing, watch me. Right. Because people want to see, like, what does this person do? What is he wearing? Like, there's a relationship build, like they fall in love with it. So you need to, relationship based content is very difficult to pull off to start with. Okay. So that's why what you need to do is you need to start with topics in your target market.
Yeah.
You start with topics, you build it up, and slowly start putting your personality into it so that you build a relationship with your people as well. And that's how I feel you become an ultimate creator. Because if you only do relationship on day one, if you're telling that, hey, I'm eating this, nobody cares. Like, who are you?
Nailed it, man. Nailed it. Just loved the principles of, information, inspiration versus entertainment, and why we need to start with that. The whole idea of signaling is so powerful. Actually, I've nailed it. It's right at the core. All of us we want to signal, but it's just the aspect of amplification, and that's what we're trying to do. And the approach that you shared is, moving from topic based and then take it to relationship. But the ultimate retention is going to be in relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the whole point. Like earlier, so if you look at, I'll give you example. Only unless you become like a production house, okay, where you like there are like 20 people team working for you. Okay. The only way to sustain as a creator is to amplify your personality. So if you look at the top creators in the world, they'll only be streamers, podcasters, or vloggers.
Yeah.
And all three of them relationship.
Exactly.
Because you don't have to think about creating content.
Yes.
Right? Like just think about it. Like, I mean, and or else the fourth way is becoming Mr. Beast and having like 50 people team and doing things, right? That's a production house game.
Yes.
So if you look at the top creators in the world, okay, so they're either podcasters, streamers, or vloggers. And the reason is because of relationship. Okay. Right. So if you build a good relationship, then you can A, sustain, because you never have to think about content because you're just being you. And B, your people fall in love with you. It's not that the next guest who's coming on Joe Rogan. It's like people want to see how Joe Rogan talks to that guest.
Yes.
People coming for Joe Rogan, not for guest anymore.
Right? That makes sense.
And like it's the Joe Rogan of the world, ninjas of the world, and David Dobrik's. I give you Indian examples. Let's say, for example, India, we really don't have like a massive. Let's say Tanmay Bhatt.
Yeah.
People don't come to learn finance from Tanmay. People come to see Tanmay and how he decodes finance. Like it's not nobody, like his audience doesn't care that, hey, whether he's talking about crypto or finance. People want to learn because the way he teaches is amazing.
Yeah.
And the way he treats and the way he has fun. Like he's made finance fun. Like his personality is driven, right? So that's it. That's like he vlogs, he funs. In India, there's a guy called Flying Beast.
Okay.
Right? Like a vlogger, right? People want to see where his cat pooped in a day or no. Like it's a hardcore relationship building. On day one, it won't, like you can't make that possible. But slowly you build that relationship, you marinate it, and then it works out really well.
Amazing, Raj. I mean, you've shared some very powerful nuggets here. I've taken a lot of notes on the back here, and platforms. Before we move, this will be the last, I would say, major topic before we go into more on the personal side of you. But platform-wise, if somebody's starting off, where do you think they should focus on? Is it YouTube or podcasting, or when should they start a podcast? Like, what should be a priority for, especially knowing my audience, like most of them are coaches and stuff. So what would you recommend for them?
Okay. It genuinely, I mean, the first cliche answer, it depends on them. Like, what are they good at?
Right.
Okay.
Mm.
And the second, if you ask from the point of view that if you're one of those like, hey, I can get good at anything, I just need the right place to go ahead and I'll figure out that thing.
Yeah.
So because I was that person, right? Like I
Mm.
was like, so I started with Instagram and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna stay to Instagram and create short content. I'm gonna make long content and create podcasts. And then like,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
why only video?
Mm.
I want to do written as well. So I started
Mm.
LinkedIn and then Twitter.
Mm.
And like we're constantly doing decent at every platform, right?
Yes.
So if you are one of those like who's like, I'll figure out everything, start with Twitter.
Okay.
Like
Mm.
Twitter
Mm.
is the most underrated tool. And I don't mind to go on record and say this, like you'll see next wave of $1 billion businesses or empires or like multi-billion dollar empires built out of Twitter.
Wow. And why do you say
People,
that? What's the psychology behind
it's the
that?
most underrated tool. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
So number one, I tell you how the society works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So every time, so so there are people who are, let's say, highly aware,
Mm.
less aware, and people who are just getting used to the information. For example,
Okay. Mm.
people who, okay, I wanna break this even better.
Okay. Mm.
So somebody sitting in metro cities in India aspire to learn from someone who's sitting in states.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody in a tier 2 would aspire to go to metro city. Somebody
Yes.
in a village would aspire to go to tier 2 city.
Mm.
Right. So it's just the aspiration which goes keep
Yes.
going up, right?
Mm.
So what happens when the moment you're, let's say, uh somebody sitting in states
Mm.
feel like that, hey, now Indians or metro city people have also gotten the crack of how to build a brand on TikTok.
Mm.
I want to move ahead and do something else because that's where I'll start a new thing.
Mm.
Like I'll change the
Okay.
platform. They started with
Okay.
YouTube. They left YouTube, became on TikTok. They left with TikTok. They did on LinkedIn. They did on LinkedIn, and now they're doing on Twitter. So they
Okay.
just keep moving because they feel as the space keeps getting more crowded, with
Mm.
more and more people getting access to the information, it gets very difficult for you to stand out.
Okay.
And that's why people who feel that they have this confidence and the ability to stand out, they move to different platforms.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
As simple as, I'll give you example, like people who were really good speakers started writing books.
Yeah.
People who were really good at writing books, they started writing blogs. People who
Mm.
started writing blogs who felt they were really good, they started creating videos. So
Videos.
they keep moving on from platform to platform. And the only
Got
reason they move on, they want to stand out of the crowd. And they have the confidence that wherever they go, they'll build their audience.
it. Got
Right?
it.
So the
Mm.
early movers now are going to Twitter.
Twitter. So it also has to do with the maturity of the audience in that platform, right? Twitter is right on the top there in terms of
Yes,
maturity of audience. Mm.
because it's just getting started, right? Like
Mm.
only the people who get it, who wants to feel it, like they feel that, let's say, Instagram for building connections is now getting overcrowded.
Yeah.
Everybody was like the best way to connect with Instagram DMs. Now it's worst way because everybody's DMs is flooded with thousands of DMs.
Yes. Mm.
Right? So
Correct.
what's the best way? Twitter.
Mm.
So people are
Mm.
moving there. And when the thought leaders move to Twitter, right, you have a chance because of one thought leader.
Mm.
There are not 10 other people who are creating random content. So if you, along with the thought leader, create the content, people they can only find you. So even if
Yeah.
you averagely good, like let's say you're just decent, you're number 2 on the platform.
Mm. Makes
And
sense. Makes
and
sense.
and what wins in the market? Okay,
Mm.
let's go on the human psychology. What
Yeah.
wins?
Mm.
Whatever looks like it's winning.
Mm.
Like who
Interesting.
wins in the market? Right? Like let's say what product wins? The product which we feel is working out really well.
Yes. It's the feeling.
Like it's a
Mm.
feeling that everybody is drinking from Starbucks. Let me go there. It's
Mm.
not the best coffee.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's talking about Tesla. Let me get one.
Mm.
Right. So everybody has an iPhone. Let me get, like, it's the feeling that, hey, this guy is winning or this product is winning. That's why you want to do more of it. And you feel like that's the person who wins. Like underlining that the product really has to be good. Okay. Like not saying that the shitty
Yeah.
product.
Yes.
I'm just
Yes.
saying the good product which feels like that product is winning wins. Same is
Mm.
with personal brand.
Yeah.
Gary Vee is everywhere. He's not the best speaker or the most, like, he doesn't give you the best content out there.
Mm.
I'm sure there are hundreds of people with like 10,000 followers who give way better content than Gary Vee.
Mm.
but it's the feeling that he's winning and everybody's listening to him. That's why you want to listen to him. So,
Makes sense.
so you just want to go on a platform where somebody is already, let's say, some thought leader is already winning. Like, for example, if you want to become an entrepreneur, so feel like Dipinder Goyal is doing great job, Nitin Kama is doing great job, Kunal Shah is doing great job. Let me be an entrepreneur there and build my brand there, because the fourth guy would be me. So automatically I come in top 10. Whereas on Instagram, I won't be even in top 1,000.
Yes.
So
Awesome.
once you start looking like you're in top 5, all you
Mm.
need to then focus on becoming that person who can deserve that top 5, and you kill it.
Yeah.
So first is perception. Second is whenever the thought leaders move to certain platform, they get a crowd with them.
Got it.
Right? So they attract their crowd. They're like, for example, when I'll give you, let's say, Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Great example. So Gary Vee, moment everybody feels like, hey, you know what? Gary gives out best vlogs on YouTube. Even though I follow him on Instagram, let me go follow on YouTube, because he really creates something crazy on YouTube, right? So I never used to use YouTube, and I just went to YouTube because I wanted to see what goes on in Gary's life, vlogging. Right? So I'm sure there are 1,000 people like me who goes on YouTube and then they become YouTube consumers. If I'm watching one video, it's very easy for me to watch second video as well.
Yeah.
So the thought leaders get the crowd, and because they get the crowd, and because the supply and demand, there's a shortage, you win.
Yes. Fantastic. Yeah. This is a very powerful insight that you shared. Yeah, definitely one point is to look at what thought leaders are doing, and then you'll get the patterns of where the crowd is moving. Interesting.
So that's like wherever crowd is moving, you go there. And I feel Twitter is very underrated. And another major reason is, if you all say so, I feel everybody say that the attention span is reducing, right? I feel attention span is not reducing. Is the ability to judge the content which is getting quicker.
Correct.
Okay. People can still watch 8-hour long Netflix movie.
Yes.
Right. The attention span is not going anywhere. It's just the ability to judge the content. They would watch trailer of 100 Netflix movies and take 5 hours to decide which one to watch. But once they've decided, they'll watch it till the end if that's interesting. So the ability to judge, because a lot of options, it has gone fast. Keep 2 minutes or something not interesting. Fuck it. I want to change it. Right? So now the ability to judge content is faster. So when ability to judge content, so everybody, there are 3 different types of content, right? Audio, video, and text.
Yeah.
So audio में has gotten faster, video में has gotten faster. So text में भी होगा ना.
Yes.
The people who are like avid book readers, they move to blogs. People who are avid blog readers are now moving to Twitter.
Wow.
Because that's the place where they're like, oh, I don't have to read 1,000-page, 1,000-word blog. All I can do is just read a 140-character Twitter and then realize maybe this thread is for me or no. So it gives me more options to judge a content and then go deep dive on the one I'm interested in.
Yeah.
You click on that and you do it. So all the readers are moving there, and then the large majority of people who still learn and understand and read more than they consume content through video or audio. So they are going to be there. So you be
fantastic.
You be king amongst them. And easiest way to become thought leader.
Yeah. Super stuff, Raj. I think this is a very powerful insight that you shared, and waiting to see, how even Twitter progresses over the next few years based on what you said, and how, the platform is also going to evolve to cater to those needs. And it's amazing.
And I want to say something like, it's very simple to actually crack any platform and grow on them. It's whether it's social media, like whether it's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, they all work on similar principles. You just need to understand those principles. See, for real, I'm not the best content creator out there. Okay. It's just, and for real, I don't give you the best advices, the best content, or like I'm just somebody who knows how to create videos, audios, text, everything. Right. I think I'm just good at recognizing patterns.
Yeah.
And I've built 7 or 8 different patterns. How content works, how people think, which content will go viral and why this content will not go viral. Surprisingly, that pattern is working on every platform.
Wow.
We went from 0 to 400K on YouTube, which is the most difficult platform, which people say.
Mm.
in I think less than a year. It's not been a year now. Like in a year,
Fantastic.
like last 29 July I started. So in a year we went to from 0 to 470K we went in a year. On Twitter we went from 0 to 230K,
Mm.
which is the most difficult. I feel it's so difficult to grow on Twitter. It's insane.
Mm.
In 12 months. We went on Instagram from 100K to million in 12 months. On LinkedIn, we went from 5,000 to 105,000 in 6 months. So
Wow.
why everything is working out is because there's a pattern. You just need to analyze that pattern and crack it for you. And it's very simple. I'm not saying that easy, because consistency is the most difficult thing to do in the world.
That's the thing. Yes.
Yeah. So you need to be consistent. That's the difficult part, but it's very simple to understand these things. You just you just need to be analyzing patterns.
Awesome. So if you are like the doctor for, you're the doctor of the creator economy, what prescription will you give for our guys? Okay. Instagram, there's a prescription. YouTube, there's a prescription. What prescriptions do you have platform wise?
Okay, for that, please join my course.
Yes. Yes.
No, I mean, I don't have a course yet, but maybe like soon I'll have a course, and I'll talk about all of these things. But I'll give you quick nuggets. Okay. Think about every platform. Like, why do people come on that platform? And then create content on that. People come on Instagram for entertainment, reminders.
Yeah.
Like quick bits. Right? So you. See, I'll give you good insight. Okay. So this is a phone, right? How do you watch? I'll give you. Okay. So how do you watch Instagram content? You go like this.
Yes. We go up.
You go up. You're talking to 5 people. You're going and then up, right? This is what you're doing.
Yes.
Your face is like this, and you're constantly like this, right? So people's attention would be you're competing with 1,000 other things, because it's not actively there. So it's like just swiping, thinking what's going on. Twitter, where YouTube, the content goes like this, and people are like,
yeah, correct.
They shift their phone, right? So when they're in resting position, they shift their phone and they watch it. You have more chance to actually get them on. So think about what will people watch when they have an option to swipe, versus what will they watch when they don't want to swipe.
Got it.
Right. That makes all the difference on the screen tilt makes all the difference on attention span, on what kind of content you create and what kind of content would they hook up, they'll be hooked on. Awesome. That's like just like little tweak. Okay. Now I'll give you one basic thing. When you create content on Instagram, never start with built up. So what I say, I hate fillers. Okay, there's my team knows this, and we laugh it out a lot. How they have like Pushpa hate tears and like Raj hate fillers. Fillers is so Instagram judges. So this is how Instagram algorithm works. In first 3 seconds, if you hook the audience, Instagram will show your people who follow you more.
Got
For
it.
more than 6 seconds, if you hook the audience, Instagram will show your followers as well.
Okay.
And then based on sharing capabilities, engagement, everything, then it'll make sure whether it's viral or not. So that's it. So first 6 seconds are important. So if you're telling me that, let's say you want to talk about, I'll give you an example versus how to sell. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about urgency. Okay. So if you want to talk about urgency and selling, want to make a content on that. If you make content on like this, that, one of the best ways to close a sale, which I found out in my experience, is this: people have lost you.
God, 6 seconds gone.
It's a filler. You say, you create urgency, you sell 10 times more than other people. Here's how. So you give the juice first and then the build up. Most of the people wait for like, let me build the context and give the juice in the end. Right. So you just change the narrative, you'll work up. Because in 3 seconds, people feel if I give something in the start, then why will they stay till the end? Now tell me, if you don't give anything in the start, why will they stay till the end?
They won't. Yeah. You won't even get them, right?
So you won't get them. Like, I mean, there's a 50% chance whether the guy will stay or no when you give them something. But if you don't give them something, there's 100% chance they're not going to stay. But don't build it like you're like, hey, according to my experience, I've seen this. Most of the time, people ask me this, how do you solve this?
Gone.
Nobody cares. Give me solution. There are 1,000 people just like you talking on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me solution. Right. So you start with that. That's one insight for Instagram. Now, rest of it, you come to my course, I'll tell you 10 other places.
Yes.
Okay? I'll give you more insights. With YouTube, the thing is, YouTube is, because it's a longer format, it's controversy, like hook, then build up, and then the juice again.
Yeah.
YouTube is retention, but again, YouTube is also about making them judge you in first 1 minute.
Got it.
If you're gonna give them build up on day one, they'll gone. But if you don't give them build up, they're also gone. So YouTube is, it works with it works like that. So you hook. So it's like you tell them what's coming. You don't tell them what's there. You tell them, we'll talk about how to sell more.
Okay.
Or like, no, this is better one. Like, see, on YouTube, if you want to talk about how to sell let's say, how to sell better, you'll be like, if you want to sell 10x time better than what you're doing right now, then I'll tell you 3 steps, watch it.
Yeah.
So you told them, like, in 3 steps, you're going to tell them how to sell 10x time better.
Yeah.
So that works. So it's like you telling them what's coming, and then you start a build up, and then you do. That's YouTube, because people are like this, they're watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Then Twitter. Twitter works on, again, human psychology. What makes me feel smart?
Okay.
People only share the things which they feel is making them smart.
Yeah.
What kind of content do you receive on WhatsApp from the uncle in your family? Which that uncle feels is making me funny, intelligent, grateful, or religious, or like someone, or knowledgeable.
Okay.
Like, that uncle will only share that content because like, यार क्या joke है, वो uncle कितने बढ़िया joke बोलते, because uncle also want to signal that image of his. Same is your Twitter wall. People wanna, because people who don't create content themselves, they want to share the content which they feel they should have created.
Yes.
So all you need to think about is, whoever is your target audience, are they feeling smart enough when they share your content? It's not about teaching them. It's not about giving them awareness. It's not about actually writing the best content piece. It's about, are you making them feel smart? Because that will get shared. Because Twitter works on retweets.
Yes. Yes.
So more than comments, more than likes, retweets are important. So retweets, people only share things which they feel smart about. So this is how it works. Then LinkedIn. Okay. LinkedIn is promoting a lot of visuals, because LinkedIn wants to become this platform who is not only singular in approach about text. They want to make it a professional platform, but they want to make a fun place for professionals. Okay. This is now their why. So you will also learn a lot about what platforms are doing and what is going to work on them when you read what is their target for this year.
Wow. Okay. And they openly share that, is it? The targets.
Like, I mean, LinkedIn talks about it, right? Twitter talks about it. Because they're all listed companies. They talk about what are the growth plans, what are they thinking about it. You think about the news, what are the spokesperson talking about, right? You want to succeed in them, you need to manage these things. Like, I know what are the Q1 results of Meta. Like, I go that deep. Okay. Because that gives me pattern, like why Facebook is winning and not winning. Right? And that gives me so LinkedIn is promoting visuals, because their whole idea is they want to promote that it's a place for professional, but it's a fun place for professional. Why to make it boring?
Okay.
So how do you, so that's why if you share personal pictures, it'll work a lot. If you share memes, it'll work a lot. If you share any way of visual or light note things, or like a personal story where you are not just posting like a very professional thing, LinkedIn's going to promote it.
Wow.
So I think I've given you all 4 insights at the beginning, at least, which will work really well. If people just follow these 4 things, I'm telling you, in a year from now, from this podcast, if you just do 1 post a day on any of the platforms, you will become a thought leader in your industry. Not even kidding.
Fantastic. Yeah. Truly, this has been Master Secrets. Raj, thank you for opening it up. And all of you here watching, just wait for Raj's course. Raj, I'm waiting for it. Okay. And I'm going to definitely promote you for sure when that comes out. Because you've been in the game for so many years. And when it comes out from you, it's not going to be just some fluff. Like you'll get straight to it and it's going to get the result.
Yep. Yeah.
And
So I tell you, the idea behind this course was I was not doing this course for the longest time because I was like, let me succeed in all formats and all platforms and then I'll do it. Because if I do it on Reels, people are like, oh, because Reels were growing, you grew. If I do it on YouTube, it's like, oh, you had access to right entrepreneurs, you did, that's why I grew. So everybody's I want to eliminate all the excuses. Like, hey, you know what? 4 different platforms, 4 different approaches, 4 different type of content. And we figured out a pattern. So it really works. So that's why it took like 2 years to even get to a position where I'm starting to write a course now.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Like the milk is boiling now. We're just waiting for the sweets now. Yeah. The sweets are going to come. Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. No, this has been a great conversation, Raj. I just truly want to acknowledge the amazing, commitment that you've been having to the creator space itself, and the amount of energy, effort, time that you've been putting into this. It's showing in terms of results, in terms of your reach, but not only that, it's impacting so many people. I mean, the shifts that even that small guy in a small town would have seen your video and he would have made a decision that, okay, I want to be like this guy. Those kind of things that you have done over the last few years is something commendable. So I really want to appreciate you for the amazing work you've done. Thank you for your time. I want to say that. And
thank you so much for actually having me and asking me the right questions for me to open up. I don't think I've spoken about this, like these details anywhere else, honestly. And it's good. Great having a chat with you. I'm glad that we did this.
Yeah. And this is just the beginning. I want to do more. We can go into other details. I'd love to invite you to my tribe, into the community, to do more work there. And it's amazing to see, the way that this space is evolving. And as you said, we're just getting warmed up and started in the creator economy. Next 5-6 years, I think everybody needs to get on this and do it with the right intent and with the right focus. And of course, creativity, like bring out their uniqueness.
Yes. I mean, that's the whole why I'm working towards. Like earlier, it used to be money, love, fame, which everybody starts with when you don't have anything, right? Like when you get to a certain position, it changes. I'm glad that I found my purpose very early on, because it's very difficult for a 25-year-old to say that, hey, my purpose is this. So I feel this is what I like, based on, because even though I'm quite young, but I have 10 years of experience. I started my first business at 16, right? And it's very, very unusual. Not many people have this. And I saw the bootstrap journey. I started with 10,000 rupees. I've been to rural areas, try to build distributors. I've gotten abused by people. Like it's like I've had a share of my fun, right? And what I've learned about all this is the ultimate high of a human being is to be able to make money by doing what they love.
Yes.
Like when you're building a business, or when you're building or doing anything, you need to do stuff which you hate. Right? Like you may be bad at accounting, but you have to do it. Right? You may be bad at selling, but you have to do it. Maybe you're bad at building, or you come talking to people, like anything. Like there are 10 things which you're bad at, but you got to do it. And that's what you hate. So ultimate high is when you're making money by doing what you love. And I think there's nothing else apart from being a creator, which truly gives you an opportunity to do it.
Absolutely.
Like being a creator, if you become a creator, you love basketball, you can just talk about basketball and make a living out of it. Even if you don't have to play it. Like let's say you hate going to the gym, right? And that's why you can't play basketball, because you don't have, you are 5 feet 2 inches. So you feel like there's a lesser chances of me to making to a basketball team. And I hate going to the gym and work on my jump, like, but I love understanding the game. You can talk about it and still make more money than 90% people in the basketball.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's like, that's the ultimate high. And if me as a person, if based on my journey, or based on my understanding, or the learnings of the journey which I'm on, if I can just help like 1,000 people, not even more, like at least in the beginning, maybe that number goes on as we achieve that 1,000, or maybe it becomes million or 2 million or a billion. Like if I just can make 1,000 people get that kind of money, and that make that kind of money by doing what they love, I think I'll do a good job with my life. That'll
Absolutely.
be
Yeah.
like the ultimate
Hmm.
achievement of what I really want to do as of now.
Fantastic. Yeah. So amazing, Raj. Thank you once again. It's been a great interview. Those of you watching this, share your nuggets below. What already note down, especially if you're a part of a community. Share your top learnings below in the comments. We would love to know about that. And I've given the links to Raj's profiles. It's very unlikely that you may not be following him, but in case you're not following him, please go and follow him. And uh, you know, just stay tuned with him and whatever he's doing. Definitely Raj and I, we are going to be working together in the future long term on many other initiatives, because I'm totally aligned with your vision also, Raj. Like, even for me, why I wake up every morning is to help somebody else, live their highest potential and make a difference to others. It's not just about the course, but what the course can do to their life and their students. It's like
Yep.
that ripple effect. So I think we are super aligned on our intent, and we're just getting warmed up to bigger things.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, man. Like, this is
Yeah.
just a starting. This is a starting our conversation. 10 years,
Yes.
10 years down the line, we'll do another conversation just like this and be like, hey, this is what
Yeah.
we talked about.
And we may probably be doing it at at the United Nations or something like that. You don't know, maybe changing countries or making decisions to change the world. I think, like, because the previous gen, if you look at the big say the politicians, I'm not saying that I want to get into politics, but they're all film stars and all of that. I think now the creators are the ones who are going to be moving the society in the future. Maybe 10 years from now, who knows, you may be a prime minister also. We don't know where things go. So just planting that as a thought.
No
Yeah.
intentions of becoming any of that as of now, but you never know.
You'll never know. Awesome, Raj. Thank you for your time, and more power to you, man. Just keep inspiring, and yeah, waiting to see
Thank,
you bloom and grow and create that impact more and
thanks
more.
a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Pleasure talking to you. See you.
See you, man.